So, a while back on my socials, I shared my excitement when I received this, my first ever hot plate that I bought for SMD soldering. And at the same time, said something I'll probably regret by the end of this video, and jokingly asked the question, do you think you could cook a full English breakfast on it? Well, would you believe, the internet being the internet, this led to a whole swathe of ideas and requests on what I should try and cook on this, like crepes, a mini barbecue, although I'm not entirely sure what that one even means, and even someone showed me how they warm their coffee on one, plus of course those comments daring me to do it. So today, for a bit of fun, I'm going to answer that big question that you all apparently want answering. Can I cook a full English on this? And so I've gone out and bought everything I need, even a miniature frying pan and some utensils. So no using a screwdriver to flip food like I did in my last video here on this channel. But before we get cooking, for those not in the know, I'll just quickly explain what actually is an electronic hot plate. Well, it does have a lot of uses, but so far for me, I've found it great at removing SMD components from PCBs and making easy work at melting glue to aid in removing phone screens. So basically a great tool to have in the workshop. And I know the clue is probably in the name, but this thing does get pretty hot. 400 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 750 degrees Fahrenheit. So hopefully hot enough to cook what I've got here. So whilst this hot plate is quickly heating up, I'll just go through what I like in my full English breakfast. So firstly, we have beans here, which apparently is a bit strange to some people outside of the UK, but in my opinion, an essential item. Then we have eggs, black pudding, another maybe strange one. If you don't know what this is, then Google it. Then we have some pork sausages here, and some bacon, the best part, and this is proper English bacon as well. And finally, I've gone, and maybe the most controversial of all, got some hash browns out the freezer to throw in there as well. But that's what I like on my breakfast. However, I know it can be a bit of a point of contention of what actually belongs on the plate. So definitely let me know in the comments what you would have or what you wouldn't have on your full English. But now it is the moment you've all been waiting for, actually seeing if we can cook this on this hot plate. So let's get cooking. So I've put the pan on the hot plate here. It is a brand new non-stick pan, and I have bought some oil just in case, but I think we'll be fine without it. And the first thing I'm going to do is pop a sausage in there, although I've already realised that I have come slightly unprepared and I haven't got a knife. But as this is already on, I've gone and found a Stanley knife here that I'm going to use to cut open this sausage. Obviously, we have a high food hygiene rating here in the workshop kitchen, but I'll cut this open like this, and the knife's cutting very well. And then I can pop this in the pan like that. And it's already sizzling there, so I'll let that cook for a bit. So whilst this is cooking, I've just gone and grabbed my infrared thermometer here so that we can see how hot this pan actually is. The hot plate is currently set at 350 degrees C, and I'll just check the pan here. There you go. I don't know if you can see there, but it says it's 273 degrees C. And I've done all that. I'm not entirely sure how hot a pan is supposed to be, but this one definitely looks like it is cooking this sausage here. I've got my tongs. I can try and give it a flip quickly and see, yep, it's cooking on that side. So flip it over here, and I think it's time to start adding some more ingredients to the pan. So the next thing I'm going to add is a hash brown here, and I've got some scissors for the bag so I can cut the corner off like this and grab one of these out. Pop that into the pan over here, put the scissors away, and then I'm gonna add my black pudding that I've got, and this has a very helpful pull tab on the corner, so I can get into that one quite easily, although it's a bit stuck. There we go. grab a piece here, position it there, and then we have the bacon. So once again, if I take off this label here, we have another pull tab. So should be able to just open this up. Bit tricky. If all else fails, use the scissors. I'm gonna cut this packet open, I think, because I can't be bothered with that pull tab. There we go. Can I open this? This is now turned into can Kari get into the bacon packet. Let's cut a bit more off. No. Can I open this? There we go. We're in. We're in. We've made it in. We have one piece of bacon. I'm just doing ones of everything for this just to try it out. Save some food if it doesn't work, but I'm gonna pop the bacon in there. I'm just gonna use my tongs to position these items so they're not on top of each other like this. And I can hear it sizzling. It is definitely sizzling quite a bit. So I'm just gonna leave all of this stuff to cook for a bit longer now, and I will be back when it is time to try and cook an egg. I'm back, and a bit sooner than I thought I would be, because this is cooking very quickly. You can see a lot of the items that cook. The bacon is maybe a bit crispy, a bit overdone, but I do like my bacon crispy anyway, so I'm not too mad about it. And I have had a bit of a tidy up here, as you can see. I've replaced the plate with the Stanley knife and the raw sausage with a nice plate we can serve this up on. And before I do the egg, I am going to put all this on the plate so that I've got the empty pan. So I'll take the sausage out first, and we can do the hash brown, the bacon, which I probably should have took out first, but we'll put that one on there, and the black pudding. If I can get this spatula under, there we go. Nicely on the plate here, and now it's time to crack the egg, although I don't think there is much oil in that pan and I don't want it to stick, so I am going to add a little bit of oil and hope that it doesn't spit at me, because this pan is getting very hot. Put that in there. Wait for that to heat up for 2 seconds and I can get my nice egg out here. I'm just gonna try and crack it on the edge of the pan and try not to break the egg. This is the big test. Can I fry an egg without getting any shell in there? There we go, in the pan, and it is going a bit wild. Yeah, the pan is very hot here. I feel like I'm having to shout. I'm gonna move that egg shell over here. Let that cook. It is cooking quickly. I feel like if you wanted to know if the pan was hot enough, the egg basically being cooked at the bottom already is demonstrating that. So I'm just gonna let this egg cook for a bit and then I'll flip it in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna try and flip this egg here. I don't have the best track record with eggs, so see if I can get this over without breaking it. There we go. Yep, there is a flip. It's nice and crispy on the bottom here. I'll let that cook on the other side for a second and then I can put it on the plate with the other food. There we go, that should be cooked on the other side. If I flip it back over again, yep, that looks good. So I'm gonna remove it from the pan here and put it on the plate. And that egg actually looks pretty good for me. I might have to start cooking all of my eggs on a hot plate because I'm not gonna lie, usually I have issues, but that was quite easy. And now it is all served up with the rest of the food. Finally, last but not least, we have the beans. I've even got Heinz beans here. So I've spent the entire budget of the video on these, but I've realised as well that I have not bought a saucepan to cook these in, so we're gonna have to make do with the frying pan that I cooked everything else with, which could be a bit of a disaster. I think they might burn maybe, but I guess we're gonna find out. I'm gonna open these up now and try not to get beans everywhere. There we go, and pour these in, and the pan should be quite hot. Yep. You already see the liquid is just evaporating. I don't have a spoon. I'm going to use the spatula. Nope, it doesn't fit. Try and get as many out as I can. There we go. I think they're mostly out. Mix them around a bit. Yeah, I think the sauce is evaporating here and they're cooking quite quickly. So I don't think they're going to need to be in the frying pan for very long. These look quite hot. There's a bit of steam coming off. Give them another 10 seconds maybe, and then I might just serve them up. So at least hopefully we'll have a bit of liquid still on there, a bit of sauce before it all evaporates off. There we go. I'm gonna serve these onto the middle of the plate here. Be careful with this. I am going to be so I don't burn myself. But I'll just serve them right in at the middle here. So now you have the answer to life's big question. Can you cook a full English breakfast on this hot plate? Which is technically a yes. And I'm just going to put this down because the breakfast is sliding off of the plate. But would I recommend cooking one? Probably not. Mainly because, as you just saw with the beans, it gets very, very hot. And once it is set at that high temperature, it takes ages to get any lower. So I probably should have actually set it at a lower temperature to begin with. But moving on, this is usually the point of the video where I would ask a question. However, today I just want to say, definitely don't let me know in the comments what I should cook on this hot plate next. Honestly, don't. But now I'm off to try and eat this before it gets too cold. But like everything else in this video, it seems, I've forgotten to bring in a knife and fork. So I am now off to go and find a set. But before I do that, I just want to say thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.